Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review with me and my homegirl, Erin. I'm going to let you know about the What's Going Down episode, part 2 of 3 of the season 19 reunion, Real Housewives of Orange County. Everybody, please help me welcome Erin to the stage. Yes.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Happy Saturday, everybody. If you're in California, I hope you aren't floating away.
Okay. And if you're in Vegas and if you got some tea, bring it in.
Yes.
And if DM Rocks is out there, girl, let us know what's going on.
And even if you, sorry, I jumped the gun.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about this. That's why I got excited. DM Rocks, even if you don't want to come up and talk because you want to stay in the in the audience section, just shout out in the chat what the experience was like. You said Katie was real nice. Any little extra deets we're here for.
Yes, we appreciate all of you. We love the interaction.
Yes.
Talk to us. We talk back.
Yeah, we do. Listen, we are amateurs. We are happy to be, real. You know what I mean? Like we really appreciate every single one of you. We are, without you, I mean, we still be talking. But we really appreciate everybody that has been watching and coming on and participating. We truly, because we got to support each other in these times, and we're here for it.
For sure. Trying to give Kiki a bad name or Kiki Monique a bad name. I'm glad that during this episode, Andy had to, have her back and say she's not just a blogger, even though don't say not just a blogger as if that's bad too. Just saying, but he put some respect on her name, which gives it a lot more credence because she's not your more or less typical, person out there that's, in the business. She is a lot more reputable than how they made her seem.
Sure,
I wish you would have put a little more into it because you don't want to shame other folks because, that's also a reputable job, so to speak, so, but I'm glad that he put some respect on her name so they can put some respect on her name.
Absolutely, because this goes back to, I'm so glad you brought this up. This goes back to a comment that I made about my feeling about this season in general. Y'all want to act like you need to respect the commentary world that holds you all up, that literally supports this. It's like a class system. You all want to act like we're at the lowest level, and that's just not true. We're here consuming the television you give us, and we're here commenting on it. Now, there's a whole myriad of people that obviously there are some hungry, thirsty folks out there that do evil, like they make stuff up, they get in the mix, they cause problems, just like, they lose the line of where things are, Monica. Other people, you ain't have a problem when people lose the line on the show. I'm just saying that everybody likes to play in this world. And then you want to throw these people under the bus like, oh, they're just a rabid fan. Oh, this is that. They want to downplay the significance of their interactions. Shame on you, housewives. Y'all are perfectly fine talking with any sort of level of person that has an audience when it suits you. And then you want to drag Kiki on the show and downgrade her to something that she's not. And Andy reminded all y'all, she has a show with Dorinda. She's not just a fan. She's a professional. She's involved. She is a part of all of this, and her reputation does matter.
Right.
I'm not saying that people aren't shucking and jiving, but Kiki has also led at least one, I think 2 panels, but at least one at BravoCon, because she is a part of Radio Andy. So stop acting like some weirdo with a podcast came in and twisted things around, or even bringing up the Sheena crap. I'm so annoyed about that. But this, anyway, I'm ranting, I'll stop. Shout out to you need to respect this world. The commentary world is supporting all of this. Bravo has stayed alive and stayed healthy and thriving for as long as it has because of all of us participating in this game we call Judgment for Sport.
Definitely. I agree. We're agreeing with each other and everything that we have to say. And, even though, like you mentioned, there are some unsavory folks that will jump on the bandwagon for not so good, not so much of a good reason, or just to make content. It may not be, and the content that they're making may not be flattering or even supportive. They're just making content, because we all know any news is good news for the platform, good, bad, and different, all of that, So we want to give everyone, everyone's platform a chance. You have every right to listen and not listen, or to promote and not promote. But for these housewives who are also considered Bravo celebrities and not real celebrities, it's like there's a pecking order, in this entertainment business. So don't pick on those who are deemed so-called less than you when you're deemed less than somebody else. Everybody has a stake, and it's not that we're supporting that pecking order. That's just how it is, just with anything else. But it will be nice so that in this world of reality TV, that we're more so put on a pedestal with, truth, respectability, politics, integrity, and let's build that up and stop trying to tear others down because you think that, like Tamara thinks, you're less than, so I'm going to have to teach you how. No. Just stop thinking it, therefore it wouldn't come out of your mouth.
And that's another thing. Tamara is part of the machine now with Teddy. Like, absolutely, 100%. You are playing both sides of the fence, ma'am, like hard. And I think that is one valid reflection I think the cast was trying to get through to Tamara, is the fact that you're running this podcasting network with Teddy. You are privy to all kinds of gossip and information. You have a huge platform that does support or tear down other folks on Bravo, and they're annoyed with it because you wield a certain level of storyline power that they don't, because you have a mouthpiece through Teddy, and even though you aren't personally reviewing the show, you get all kinds of information sent to you. You get to blame, oh, well, iHeart they send us the subjects, and then, we have to talk about them. You get to hide behind this extra layer. Meanwhile, you literally threw out the bones like you weren't even the carrier. You were the bone flinger this whole season. So I just don't appreciate, no, I don't think any of us do, raging hypocrisy. And there was a lot of that this season. And, another thing I don't like, you don't need to take Kiki Monique down to address the fact that you got there's a rumor. Like, I don't like it. 11/11, everybody on the West Coast.
West Coast is the best coast, yes. And we wishing all good things at BravoCon. We just want them to have a great time here on the West Coast, out there in Las Vegas, Nevada. Bummer that Alex and Chris couldn't get their questions answered. Shout out to Pop Roast and you can check out more detail on their channel, specifically Alexander
Mhm.
Rogers and C Diggy One, our homies, and we
Yep.
wish them the best. And everybody else who's there, I think I started writing the voices that is out there. Shout out to him.
The
So
Brooke
many people are
Ashley.
out there. The Brooke Ashley.
Shout out to her.
Just a whole lot of folks. I can't really
Mhm.
remember, but yeah, big ups to y'all and report back everything. We want it all. Hello.
You know, apparently Alex did get to ask Kyle a question at the panel.
Oh, cool.
Yes, but I've been looking through the footage and stuff. They aren't showing it. And a part of me wonders a little bit if they are not punishing Alex, but they're trying to keep it like they're not like they might be not letting him have the moment, like for the repeat sake. I don't know. I'm a little annoyed. But he also said that he felt like the Potomac panel was open question audience was all producers because try to keep it real tight to keep Wendy out of any nefarious questions. And I definitely believe that.
Well, I wouldn't put it past them. They're,
Yeah.
trying to, what is that? I always forget those. They're just trying to, what is that called? I'm going to remember it later. Anyway, yeah, they're just trying to protect her.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it. Also, it seems a little bit that they're also trying to stifle his glow up.
Yes.
But I'm glad that and they all are recording their own experiences so that they're not so much relying on the BravoCon cameras or anybody else. I'm sure other people are recording as well, when they see Alex and them, because everybody knows him, for the most part, or I would think so, with all of the splash he's made over the last 2, maybe 3 years now. I mean, he's been on Real Housewives of Bravo when they were referencing that man, when they had him as a storyline. I'm like, and if anybody watching, listening, when are they going to be on Watch What Happens Live? They love a good cocktail.
Yeah, I don't know if
Get
they're
them on
trying
there.
to.
Shoot.
I don't know if they're purposely trying to taper down on this like commentary versus Bravo relationship. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, I mean, it's shame on you, Bravo. You used Alex for the reunion, and then the next season you used him for plenty of storyline. The least you could do is amplify Pop Rose voices and show them a little love this season because they gave you storyline, for crying out loud.
Right. Almost everybody was talking about it in their
Yes.
reviews, side reviews, after show, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, really. I mean, it's not like he, did something so bad that they would need to remove him from the show. He just had some commentary that was funny. He's a funny guy.
He gave him a viral moment.
For real.
I don't know. Maybe they're keeping it low key because of Teddy. I don't even know. I don't know. But you know what? They're there today. Let's hope that I think they're doing Married to Medicine. Like let's just hope for
Cool.
a shining moment today because they deserve it.
Yes, they do. Wish I was there. Hopefully next year. If they keep it in Vegas, I don't want to go all the way to New York. Hell, keep it in Vegas, please. Whew, but anyway, let's get on with this show, child. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm on location, y'all. I had to get real close to the fire. It's raining out here. It's a little chilly willy, and my feet is near the fireplace. So I'm gonna try and keep the noise down because I'm not the only one in the house today. So if you hear a little extra, just ignore it and pay attention to what we're saying. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, so Tamara, Gretchen, they left off with them part 1, and part 2 they still going back and forth. Tamara yelling at Gretchen like, "I talk about you." Oh gosh. I'm kind of over them already. I think I've had enough. I just want to
Yeah.
see the resolve. What's his name? Andy made it plain and clear that the reason why Gretchen is on the show is that she was on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. I'm surprised he said it, considering all the the litigation going on. He did mention it, but in only reference to why inviting Gretchen back to the Real Housewives of Orange County made sense. Did it sound like that, or did it sound like he was throwing her a bone, like people say they did with Kiana on Real Housewives of Potomac?
No, I think that was true. And I think he was reminding all of them, like, y'all are falling down all these damn rabbit holes. And the truth is, Gretchen was on Real Housewives. I wonder if they're going to release that once the litigation is fully over. Because,
Girl.
they did film again. They had to call the show something else because of the litigation. So I think legally they're locked up for some reason about doing that while they're in the lawsuit. And then once it's over, I think that they will probably do that. I just think that there's something legally why they can't give us the footage or show us or even call the next show that they have coming out the same name, which is so annoying. Carolyn Manzo, drop this. Literally, it's already not going well. I'm either that or Bravo, throw her a little bone and let's get this over with. I'm so mad at the way this is. This is just whatever. But anyway, side note, unnecessary side note. I do think that absolutely. I think Gretchen performed. I think they thought she'd be fun to bring back. I don't, and I know she's your girl. I don't. I'm kind of trying to assess what I think overall about how it went and all that, But I'm glad Andy said that to like stop some of the bullshit. It's like they brought Gretchen back because we thought she'd be an interesting re-edition.
Yeah. I'm glad she's back. I really wish Vicky could have been in the midst. The whole point is to get all of them in the same space. So, but she did film with her out there in Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, right?
Did
Vicky.
you hear?
Hmm?
Vicky's coming back for 20. They gave her an orange at BravoCon.
Oh, great exclusive. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Good for her. Okay, so Gretchen staying, Tamara staying, Vicky gonna be there. I guess Katie is gone because
I
why
think
would Katie
so.
need to be there? Honestly, I would have liked Katie to stay and make Emily a friend. To be honest, because Emily really had nothing to bring. Let's just talk about it. I don't think Emily has anything to bring to the show, especially when she's dealing with special needs kid who she really needs to devote her time to. Yeah, because if she's gonna be out the country, do this and the third, and her child is calling, needing her, hello, as she said, from the previous episodes, I would really think that because this is also new for her and Shane, that she would want to devote more time and concentrate on raising her family.
I think Gina should be a friend. If you're going to do Emily, then Gina goes with her because I don't need to hear any more about. Although I guess apparently her boyfriend just recently called the cops on his ex. But that's dark. I don't really want that. I don't really want that storyline. I think that they brought Vicky back. First of all, it's the 20th season, and she is the OG from the OC. Like, you gotta bow down to her. She, you know what?
I bow down on her.
Well, no, I didn't mean. Yeah, come on. I didn't mean you. Get out of here.
I don't want anybody bowing down to her. Ugh. I'm sorry.
Well,
Go ahead. Interrupted. Go ahead.
okay, fine. Poor choice of words. Apparently, people are inflamed. She's the OG of the OC, and I
Okay.
think they brought her to be the bridge for Tamara and Shannon. I don't want any fake crap though. I don't want to see the Trace Amigas all up and running just because. I don't want fake kumbaya. But I think that's why they did it, because I don't think anybody would be willing to see Tamara and Shannon again as they are. So, but I would actually like them to bring back a lot. I want cameos from other housewives all season for the 20th. I want, but yeah, I
Not
don't think
Alexis.
what?
I'm sorry. Thought I was on mute. Not Alexis.
Oh, that's fine. Throw that in there. No, I don't want that cam. No, no, no. Yeah, no, that one's yeah. I'm with you on that one. No, people that yeah, like Gina Keo and like
What about the?
Lori.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I want to see Laura. She
Yeah.
always seemed to be more so on the right side of things than not. So,
Ooh, I don't know, man. Her husband is super conservative. I don't think we would really want to get too close, but just say hi. Lori had
well,
a
like Vicky ain't.
yeah, but I mean, I think we're
She.
even more than that.
I don't know. I beg to differ, but I
Oh,
I digress.
have you ever looked at her husband's politics? That's I've seen some of his. Yeah, so just take it from me, it's even more than Vicky. um Anyway, no, but she lost her son. Like, remember, the thing I appreciate about Lori is that
Oh yeah.
she Real Housewives started out with some women that were trying really hard in the world, right? Vicky was trying to grow her business. Lori had lost a lot in her marriage and was trying to get back behind the gates, kind of thing. And then we had a couple of ladies that were doing well. And I always appreciated the fact that Lori represented the woman that through a divorce was, had to be back on her own. So anyway,
Yeah,
um,
and as crazy as this sounds, I would love to hear how her kids are doing. I know her daughter got married and had kids. Her son, I think her son was going to the professional baseball with his fine self. I would like to see how Gina Gina Keough, is her name Gina,
mhm,
is
yeah,
progressing in life and business as a businesswoman because
mhm.
to be honest, I want to see more women on this show that's not just on the show. They actually have things going on. Just that's just me personally.
Yeah. Well, Gina knows all of the old. She knows Tamara, Vicky. She knows them well. Like,
Yeah,
remember, Shannon's mad at her because she stayed friends with Simon. So it's or not Simon. No, Tamara's mad at Gina because Gina stayed friends with Simon.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And nobody from season 15, nobody, because that was the season that was just redonkulous. Nobody. Don't even think about nobody from that season. My God. Anywho, child, what was I saying? Oh, Tamara and Gretchen, and then we start going into other things. Now we're on Jen. It's kind of veering off into Jen now since we're talking about Tamara and all of her shenanigans. Jen says Tamara is hard to navigate due to the lies Tamara wants to put out there. It's like Tamara thinks it's okay to bring up rumors, for instance, about Jen, having how many affairs on her
Right.
ex-husband. Um, well, I heard we can say the same thing about you, Tamara, but again, I digress. But the point I'm trying to make is Tamara seems to think it's okay to just bring up things that she heard and apologize later when she didn't even have the proof in the first place to even say it. Have the proof. So, oh yeah, I know. Don't just say credible person as if people don't lie or people don't really know for sure. I mean, I would be more infuriated just on that and would be more aligned with Shannon's ideals about not being friends with Tamara, as if they're on Tamara's timeline of friendship. I just think that it's absurd that Tamara thinks like this.
Well, there's no argument that Gretchen's running her mouth with the way Tamara's been running hers. Like, you know, like you heard Jen was cheating. Well, Gretchen heard you bang that dude in the studio. You know, like, honestly, I know that we've said shame on Gretchen for bringing it up because it's just two pigs rolling in the mud is what it turns into. But Tamara, you don't get to be extra mad at Gretchen because you have been all season doing this kind of crap, like to multiple people. You're the one that brought up that Katie recorded Shannon. You're the one that brought up that the Kiki Monique rumor. Like, you're the one that, like, every time that there was a little rumor and nastiness, that was you. And at this reunion, how many times did we hear Tamara say, well, I heard? Be please.
Sounding like a blogger to me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And then as Andy chimes in and kind of confronts Tamara, well, you say this, and then Tamara rolls back as if it's okay when Andy is correcting her. But just a second ago, you were all in, and it's like, what, Tamara? What do you believe? Like, where are you in your thought process? I mean, it's just so, like Jen says, she doesn't know how to navigate with you. But Jen, you're a liar, and you were proven to be a liar in this episode. We're gonna get into that. It's just Tamara is more so offensive, and she just has this thing. I believe that she's just superior, and whatever, and people should take what she says as gospel, even though she will admit she was wrong. I'm sorry when confronted. And I don't know. It's like she wants people to be on her timeline or
Yes.
on her side regardless. Like, no one owes you blind loyalty but your husband. I don't know.
No, I agree with you 100% on the timeline, especially, right? Because that's her whole issue with Shannon is Shannon isn't getting over it on her timeline. And yeah, she's not. Ooh, I have a bubble in my throat. Hang on.
Mm-hmm. It's just ridiculous, Sean. And if anybody has any similar or even anything different, or you agree or don't agree, I want to hear from you, because it just seems over the years, Tamara thinks she can just say whatever, do whatever, be apologetic only when confronted, and then blame that, it is what it is, and let's just move forward. And this lame ass excuse about no one goes as hard if there's no care. No. Let me tell you something. I love my sister to death. Now, mind you, we don't even have the same dad. I don't even call her my stepsister. We've never used step in this family. That's my sister. And not once have I gone against her or even a real close friend that I even call my sister and go against them in such a vile way. I don't even think like that. So I don't understand how someone who thinks like that could think that they can be accepted back into the fold and just forgiven just like that. I just, that's just something that's, I don't understand that whole thought process. But anyway, you back, friend?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I made breakfast late, so I'm putting the mute button while you're talking because I'm chewing.
It's all good. Yeah.
So I'll just let the audience know. I'll let you know too, because I know it's like, what does she do? Yeah, but I'm here.
Reality, y'all. This is reality. But go ahead.
Yes, sorry. Well, the rainy day just put the whole schedule off, so it's like brunch while we talk. But anyway, I'm not gonna be one of those folks that choose on the live. But anyway, so Tamara, You suck. What is they were getting Jen and she was basically, I mean, listen, Jen had every right to look at Tamara cross-eyed because Tamara and Andy reminded Tamara of this. Tamara said, "Oh, she's great." And then Tamara was like, "Let me air this woman's life out because I want to treat her like crap." And Ryan, I think, honestly, I bet you Ryan did send a DP to that friend. But she just thought that she would completely air him out. And, you know, air them out because she felt better than them. Jen's a cheater. Ryan's a sleazeball. You know, let's go for it. And listen, glass houses. Nobody really likes it when you completely go after another person to fuel your own storyline because we can tell. And then you can't turn around and want to try and be friends with this person without acknowledging that you use them for your own gain. You were never kind to Jen. You always used her as a salacious storyline until it no longer suited you. So the fact that she's looking at you cross-eyed and that Ryan hated you and went after you, yeah, you went after them first. You literally aired them out for your own benefit, and then they hit back hard. And then they hit back hard.
All that.
Yeah, and you didn't like it that you got hit back and that Ryan threatened to sue you and they brought up that whole thing and clearly your mouth gets you in trouble. And, you know, so yeah, Jen and Shannon are looking at you weird this season and you had no patience for that. And so, you know, I think this is an area where I thought Jen held her own pretty good. I didn't necessarily like her other shucking and jiving, but, you know, yeah, Tamara, when she tries to do some fake crap, it's the worst. It's like the worst flavor of imitation cheese. Like it's bad. That what you said before that whole we go hard when you care. No, don't you even dare. Don't you even dare when you do that fake cry and that weird crap and your face doesn't move and you just look weak. No, I hate that. It's so fake. I just want you off my screen. Like that's how much I dislike when she does that fake shit.
It kind of reminds me of DV, where some people say, well, they wouldn't hit you if they didn't care. You know, it's like, that's nonsense.
Tamara, she called you a DVer.
Well, I didn't really, no, I don't want to call her that. It's just, you know, it's like, it's the same philosophy in that you're hurting somebody and expecting them to still be there in your corner when it counts. And no, you are pulling heartstrings and then tearing them to pieces, making people feel bad and expecting them to help you put this piece together. No, you put the pieces together, you own it, you stand in your own ish, and you be accountable and don't do it again. And I might come back into your life. It's just that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
It is. She doesn't want, and well, this goes back to the whole thing that Tamara is untrustworthy, and she doesn't want to accept that. And it's like, well, everybody's trying to explain to you that, like, you reach out your hand, and I'll give you the benefit of, excuse me. I'll give you the benefit
of the doubt. I get it.
Yeah, the benefit of the doubt that you have like a trauma response of if you reach out and someone rebuffs you, you go into this weird, heated, attacky place, right? Not excusing it. I'm just saying I kind of think that's what happens. But the problem is you're not working on that enough to allow anybody to have a rebound with you that they can trust. Because the second nobody does it, back to what you said, your timeline, the second it's not on your timeline, you go after them again. So it's like, I care about you. Well, I don't know. Oh, I hate you. It's like, hello, unless it's complete buy-in to your bull, even though you've proven time and time again that you'll do whatever suits you. And you're not allowing anybody to hold on to the fact that you hurt them deeply and they don't like you enough yet. Like, if you called me a C word while I was trying to recover from hitting a building, I wouldn't like you very much either. And I would need a minute. And if you cared about me, you'd let me have it. And
Now,
Jen, same thing.
And this right here is where, how do you say, picking the what I picking
The
what
fly shit out of the pepper.
Picking the fly shit out the pepper.
Yeah.
When they brought up the old photo of Jen, and now Heather, you my girl, Heather. You know I love you, but you cannot defend the fact, no matter how production cut and paste this for us, the even mention of the difference in what Jen looked like in this photo and what she looks like now was only in reference to her weight. That's it. That's all. There was nothing, because that's what Tamara said when she showed the photo. She mentioned her weight. She didn't say her hair color, or she wore jeans a lot, or she wore platforms a lot, or she posed on her left side. No. You referenced her weight, and that was the only reason why you brought that photo, because you are vengeful. You like payback, and you wanted her to feel bad because she wasn't giving in to you. So, and it makes you feel bad. That's your that's more of a character flaw than
your
just
MO.
Exactly. Your what's that?
Modus operandi.
So I couldn't even get it out.
Sorry.
Modus operandi. So yeah, no one believed you, and no matter how you said it, and Heather, you my girl, but you can, no matter how much Heather tried to defend it, it was still trying to out Jen as how Tamara sees her, as fraudulent. Now, I agree with a little bit of fraudulent stuff, in line and carrying on, but to try and embarrass this woman based on her looks, girl, how many times have you been under the knife regarding your looks? Like Jen said, that's your own insecurity. I wish Jen would.
Oh, we lost you. Just so you know, we can't hear anything.
And I like
There
how
you
Emily
are.
referenced that. Emily said, even though, and because she felt the way, Emily said, even though during that you mentioned how much of a great, mom you were, and you were being a mother, not necessarily, going to the gym like you are, but the fact that you were being a mother in those times made Emily feel like being a mother is more important than anything, even going to work out. And again, that's why I say Emily should be a friend next season and concentrate on her family. But anyway, how'd you feel about Emily saying that?
Well, I just appreciated the way that Andy kind of made fun of Tamara and deflated this whole storyline that Jen was single white female, because I was like completely tired of that. And I also thought it was very egotistical the second that Tamara even tried to float this storyline, including the heavy picture, the way she twisted the extension story, the way that she's insinuated that Jen is a yoga studio. She obviously is into fitness. It's not because she wants to be you. And then the whole, you moved into my neighborhood, not while you live there. Get out of here. So embarrassing. Like, you should be so embarrassed that you even tried to pitch that crap. You look like the single white female. You look like the one that's obsessed with her, and that you are insecure about her glow up. Now, she does have lips like a hot dog. I'm sorry. Tamara was accurate. Jen, stop. You're going too far. Like, your own insecurities are very glaringly apparent, but that's an Orange County woman issue, not a Tamara Judge like patent on a certain look. You think you're the only blonde fitness buff that has had plastic surgery and hair extensions in Orange County, especially in the Newport Beach area? Oh my God. I'm like dying. So I'm just top level, I'm just really glad that Andy made Tamara go, oh yeah, I see that now. Bitch, you saw that from the jump. This was such a pathetic storyline that made you look stupid. And I'm glad that we like positioned it as such. So that's how I feel about the whole thing, is that it was very obvious you were trying to do something to her. And for you to like shame a woman that looked like a pretty normal woman, like, you know, yeah.
And, you know, and how do you feel about what Emily said about being a mom and referencing the photo and all of that?
Well, I think it's about, well, you know, I don't know. Emily's flip-flop back and forth to how it suits her on all of that stuff, because she did have that whole Shannon and a can of biscuits kind of stuff, and then she was
Right.
really upset about the weight and the pants and the jeans and all that or whatever. You know, I just think, like I said, I think the whole storyline period was just stupid. Because yeah, and we, you know, we definitely as women, like, we need the things that help our mental health, you know, and working out and being healthy and feeling good about yourself and all of that is important. But it's very easy to forget yourself because we have a society where we don't allow moms to prioritize that stuff.
Yeah. Especially when they have to be out working and they have to have a
Mm-hmm.
certain lifestyle or certain or take care of certain responsibilities where they, you know, can't afford to have that downtime for the most part. You know, no, sleep is important. Rest is important. People have gone on People have gone to the hospital because they don't get enough rest. And God forbid, you know, anything worse happens. It's just trying to organize and prioritize is difficult when you have more responsibilities than you typically should have for
Well,
whatever the reason.
and all of these women can attest to the fact that when you're not on TV, your priorities are not to look a certain way or to present a certain way. And Jen certainly
Yeah.
looked like a pretty attractive woman, didn't really look like a weight problem by any means. She is frightfully thin now. You know, they were commenting on her fitness before and her muscles and all that. That's great. You know, whatever you want to look is up to you, especially if you're doing it in a healthy way and you're a fit person. If you have the discipline to like barely eat and all that crap, you know, to look like that, then hats off to you. You know, like, I'm not here to tear that down. Although
Right.
I guess I don't want to be too much of a hypocrite, but whatever. Most of us that are living our middle class lives, or, you know, the various spectrum of watching this show, we don't have to be on camera, nor do we have the resources or the time to do all of that. They, because of how much we scrutinize them, that's part of the gig now. So yeah, like I said, weak storyline to begin with. She didn't want to be you.
You know, there was one part of that conversation I found interesting when they were speaking more about Jen and her family dynamic, where her and Ryan sat down with her ex-husband, and she
Oh
said he
yeah.
owned his wrongdoing and thanked Ryan for taking his kids in. You know, I'm not excusing her ex-husband for not handling his business. I also understand his non-commitment to supporting something that destroyed his marriage, and or that he could think destroyed his marriage, because I couldn't imagine being in his shoes, having to contribute or even come into the presence of a guy that just disrespected me to the point where my whole life has changed because of it. But I'm glad that he finally came around and I guess is the bigger person.
This is one of those ones where we disagree.
Okay.
When you say contribute, what do you mean?
Isn't Ryan the one she was messing with that is the reason why she's no longer married to her ex-husband?
Yeah, but you said you can understand why he doesn't contribute. So Will.
Right, because of his feelings about all of what happened and his, being ornery in that whole situation and having to deal with the notion that this man is banging my wife. She chose him over me. Now he's around my kids. He felt the way and he had
Yeah,
to get over that.
that I can totally respect. I can respect him not wanting to speak to Ryan. I can respect him hating Ryan. I can respect him, all of that. But when you say contribute, I think of the fact that he hasn't given Jen any child support. He basically left the whole situation, the $40,000 in rent. He stopped paying. He abandoned his children financially and left it to Jen, who didn't have, like, I don't respect that part. The fact that
I don't either.
so like
Yeah.
I just can't. And he's also got a girlfriend now, one of Jen's former friends. So I think but I I'm happy to hear, regardless, that they had to sit down and they began the long road of coming to a place where they can be polite to one another, because the
Hmm.
kids need that. The kids need
Yeah.
that. Y'all need to co-parent. I agree with you on the level of I cannot, like, I respect him hating Ryan. I totally do. You know what I mean? Like, we all have that feeling. But I
And
just,
her too.
yeah,
Maybe he
yeah,
will hate
sure.
her too, and he won't have and that's why he did what he did. I'm
But
not excusing it, but I can
yeah,
see, I can understand.
it's unforgivable, and the caliber of your character as a man to leave your children without the ability to fend for themselves, like to not do right by your kids. That's I just there's nothing you can say.
Well, I'll say this. I think it adds context because 9 times out of 10, we always hear how the non-custodial parent just leaves or walks away, but there's context. Again, not excusing it, but it does lessen the blow, in my opinion, that he just negated his responsibilities towards his children and his ex, in that he was left to I don't know. It sounds like I'm supporting him, but I'm not. I'm just saying that it adds context to us hearing how the non-custodial parents just walk away and that's that. And we don't hear anything else from them. Um let's just hope that he continues and he doesn't waver again in his legal responsibilities that he has to adhere to.
It sounds like he also had some financial issues and didn't maybe even have any money to contribute and stuff. Like, I think it's a complicated thing, like it always is, because he was
Yeah.
working for her family. Um, and I also want to bring up there's reasons why maybe she cheated on him, because maybe he was abandoning the marriage inside of it a long time before that. But to your point, regardless, I hope this is the beginning of the bridge for them to move forward, because as it stands, it doesn't look like Ryan is going anywhere. And those kids, poor things, they deserve to have both of their parents, working on. It's tough. You and I both know this. It's really tough, but we owe it to our children to try. And hopefully there's been enough time that the wounds are healing.
You know what? All this time, because of how Jen has portrayed herself, and even this season, I'm convinced that Jen was a total reason why her marriage to her ex-husband did not work. I think she's manipulating. I think she's conniving. And the fact that he held it together enough to not disrespect her with another woman or another anything in the same way. And I really do think all of the reasons why they're not married is because of her. She seems like the type of woman who would hide certain things about herself and to her benefit and let the chips fall where they may.
We just disagree on this one. I think it was probably a complicated thing between, I don't know. Like, she is manipulative.
We don't know, but
yeah. I mean, she's manipulative. I agree. She's people pleasing. I agree. Did she contribute? Yes, but I don't get super conniving out of her to the point where I could put all I would feel comfortable doing that. I just think that, to your point though, she did show a major character flaw with the way she stepped out of her marriage. So, I can understand why Will didn't want to have anything to do with Ryan. That's the top level, right? Literally, I agree with you on that one. I can understand why it took him a minute to be willing to even sit down with the man. Honestly, truly. Because I'd want to rip his head off. If I were still in love with my wife and all that, yeah. Even if I wasn't, I guess. Somebody that moved in on my family, I'd hate them.
I mean,
I'd hate them. Yeah.
And she allowed it. She was the one, lying and doing all these things. It's such a betrayal. Let's just hope that she has a more successful marriage with Ryan.
Yeah, if they get there.
With her ex-husband. I wish everybody success, regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
And then they kind of tie in Gina to all this, right? When they brought up the bridal party situation that Shannon did for Jen, and Gina made a comment, and then we started getting into Gina stuff. Gina made a comment that Jen didn't even want this, and it's just absurd, and that's not what Jen said. Again, Gina and everybody else likes to give their perception on the situation versus giving what was done or said verbatim. And that's not what Jen said. Jen was already perplexed about doing anything. Of course, she kept saying, money financially, it's a strain. So she's trying to keep it as simple as possible. So doing all this extra stuff is not something that she's thinking about. Nothing to the point where Shannon should have never did this. So Gina had to atone for making that an issue, or making Shannon feel bad for doing something that maybe Jen didn't want, but Jen was still appreciative of that. Gina, girl. And okay, well, yeah, I can take that. But then Gina tries to say, well, I'm getting mixed messages. And no, you ain't getting no mixed messages. You see things like you see them, which is normally incorrect until proven or shown that you need to think about your perception.
I think this was another dumb storyline. This was stupid. Like we said, Shannon wanted to do an event, right? Shannon wanted to do an event, and she picked trying to do something nice for Jen. And maybe it was a little bit like you said this. She wanted to do the event more than she maybe cared about giving Jen a bridal shower. She just kind of wanted to merge the two, right? Yeah. And like, I agree. So the fact that it's now, like you said, it really is Gina's perception, and she's done that a couple of times this season where you're calling it. I'm just agreeing with all the things you said. Like, you should never have made this an issue in the first place, and leave their friendship alone. And why are you trying to pick on it? Like, what are you doing? Like, I feel like Emily and Gina always feel a little entitled to, like, even though they're friends with Shannon, to sabotage her a little bit because of the way that they like had to come together, how Shannon was like humbled to be their friend. I feel like they kind of mean girl stick it to her on the other side because of the years that they didn't really get along. Because this is weak. This is weak. Jen didn't really want it. Like, your friendship isn't real. That's the leap you took because Jen felt slightly uncomfortable that she was having a bridal shower party for the guy she left her husband with and wasn't ready to run down the aisle in a bikini on a beach to. Get out of here.
And also Gina felt slighted for no one throwing her
Oh,
a
that was
party for
so
her and Travis.
stupid.
Like, girl, okay,
Get
so that's
out
the
of
real
here.
reason. Anybody
I
trying to throw you
know.
a party. So you gonna shit on somebody else? Half us getting married. Listen, I would have some all the time. You know, I want to do this for you because it's always a festive event for a marriage, not just two people getting back together. Girl, bye.
There's traditional ceremonial parties that you can easily have with these things. Nobody like you said, nobody has a weird shack and back up party. It's not
Girl.
even like you're moving in for the first time. You move back in together, and you really wanted someone to go to the effort to spend money on a party for that. That was so, like I said, this whole thing is dumb as hell. Gina, you just look stupid. Like I said, this is another vote for the friend category, okay?
And since we're on Gina, what's her name? Andy brought up, okay, so you know, the thing you said about Heather's, oh yeah, let me get mine in too. So Heather was like, yeah, I felt, you know, a way that you're talking down about my accomplishments, you know, for being this and that. And then in the confessionals, oh, it's just so nasty,
It is.
so rude. How Gina mentioned back in '94 when she was in elementary school that, you know, Heather was popping. No, Heather's been popping. It just so happens now that you're popping, you think you have this way about yourself that makes it okay to discredit other people. She's sitting too close to Tamara, if you ask me. You know, and ain't it funny? As soon as these women get their bodies together, they have this attitude towards other people. Emily did it, does it. What's her name? Gina's doing it. It's and Tamara as well. You know, she, you know, all these things that they're putting other people down about. To me, it's not a coincidence. I just think that when you start to feel really good about yourself, not you generally, but those people with those mindsets starts to think even more so that they're better than because they look how they look.
I lost my train of thought completely. That just flew out the window. I agree with you. I thought Gina, like I said, Gina's dress and she looks amazing. But nope, it's totally gone. We'll just move it along. Sorry, everybody. I was listening to what you were saying, and so like instead of trying to be the counterpoint,
Heather holding Gina accountable.
Thank you. I told my mom this. I hate how they disrespect her career. She was a working actress in Hollywood. I remember seeing her when she first came out of One Life to Live. She had the spot on Married, all the things. Like, she was a working actress. She was recognizable. Like, you would see her do something. You know what I mean? You maybe couldn't say her name or place her or whatever, but like, and she had a more legitimate career in entertainment than any of these jokes. And so I hate the way that they treat her like she doesn't have a skill set. I think it's disrespectful, and I understand why it hurts her feelings. And I know I know I've said this, that Heather sometimes kind of grasps at straws for like a storyline because she doesn't like being too heavy in the drama. But Gina was mean. That was just really dismissive of somebody that's had way more success than you have. Bad extensions, real estate schlepper. Like, get out of here. Like, if Heather's supposed to be your friend, like, stop being so. I hate the way they mock the fact that she really was a working actress and is trying to get back into it, because that's one part of Heather that, like, I think, respect, period. And she's wealthier than all you people, so she could sit down and not work while she raised her kids. So I defend her, and I feel bad that she didn't get to have her poor thing. She didn't really get to have her moment because of Shannon and Andy in the bathroom.
Okay, Shannon's bladder just interrupted all of that. I mean,
I
Heather
know.
had to check and like, hold on, I'm talking.
I know.
It's important to me. And I'm glad that she was able to get all that off because
Mm-hmm.
Gina needs a little harder check, if you ask
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, it
Um,
was rude. It was
yeah, I
rude.
mean, girl.
Yeah.
And you're not being funny in your
Mm-mm.
confessionals with all of this.
Nope. Nope.
And
Sure not.
it's just a matter of if how Heather came at her initially, and then the confessionals only proves that Gina does not respect her craft as a comedian or actress or, entertainer in that respect. So even now at the reunion, I think it was all bullshit just to pacify Heather, and because Gina doesn't really believe that Heather is a credible whatever. I just don't.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's rude. They respect Heather, period. No, this is an area that, yeah, I agree. It was bullshit.
So then we come to a little fun part. Like I said, we always, we can't always have the drama. So Andy brings up a few things that were funny, like the lymph drainage massage. If anybody is
Oh,
wondering,
yeah.
a lot of those places are geared towards post surgery, to where the subcutaneous tissues of that particular area was operated on or manipulated on during other types of not just cosmetic, but other surgeries, because your lymph system helps to drain fluids throughout your entire body. So if there's buildup, or if it's more tension there because maybe some tissues have adhesed, meaning makes little hard and it needs to be kind of broken up and more soft in that way, they have these lymph massage places. I first heard about that during uh, not during, but knowing about cosmetic surgeries, where after you have certain like tummy tucks or anything manipulating that area that's been worked on, like I said, but during those cosmetic BBLs and tummy tucks, they have to have lymph massages to make sure that the area is still functioning as if it was never worked on and not adhesed, not hardened, and just flowing freely, so that the fluids that are draining in and out of these different lymph areas within your body, because all of them are connected. Your body's all connected in some type of way. So that's what those massages are for. But they made it seem like they just there getting a different type of massage. I mean, come on,
Oh, Lord.
they just lying.
Well, nobody wants a hard BBL. Ouch. Hardened BBL. Owie. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, like you said, like it was funny, but like lymph massage is actually a very beneficial thing. And like housewives like to do, they love to turn something that actually is like, helpful and make it a joke. But, you know,
So then, what was funny is they start talking about the Gretchen's Tomb Raider outfit when she
oh,
took
yes,
everybody for tactical training, and she just
yes.
wanted something fun and do, because as we see in all of her confessionals, and even on the stage, she's in a theme look versus just something real nice to put on. Like I said, I think she was best dressed, and it looks themey, a theme-ish, but it still gives elegant, in my opinion. And if you watch her Instagram, if you've seen her anywhere outside of the Real Housewives uh, uh, castle, then you'll see how she loves to put that shit on. Just saying. But yeah, she looked kind of ridiculous in that Tomb Raider outfit. I have to say
She did.
that.
Shout out to Shelby. Is it Shelby's in the chat? Shelby's Media. I
Oh
think it's
yeah, Chef.
Shelby's. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you, and thank you for saying hello in the chat. What you think? Let us know in the chat what you think of this second installment of the reunion. Listen, everybody talks about Gretchen's affinity for a costume-esque look, and the woman has an impeccable body. and not a lot of work done, right? So like good for her. She's like she looks silly, but she looked good.
Yeah, so like I was saying, they're just always enjoying a good theme, and I wish they would have dressed up with something a little more elegant than this episode because they just seem a little blah. And not just because my girl Gretchen kind of outshined them, but it just seemed, like, okay, what is y'all doing? Sorry for the noise. What is y'all doing on this? Y'all real relaxed this reunion, if you ask me. Yes, I get.
That isn't. You mean their fashions or their attitudes?
Their fashion. It was just real like dinner party. That was
Yeah.
like, what was the theme? Usually they have something to. Girl, I don't know, child.
I don't know. I definitely think that they all looked better than they have in the past. I'm thinking of Shannon in that drag queen outfit in the yellow with the hair, like so. Some of them are kind of plain. You're right. They don't have Atlanta glamour. They do not. They do not have Atlanta glamour. But you know who underwhelms me sometimes real bad in that department is Beverly Hills. Sometimes their reunions look just terrible to me. But I mean Gretchen's corset, stunning. I mean, impressive. I think she used the same designer for the after show confessional, and it's a nude dress. And even though I'm not like a bunch of extra bells and whistles like she is, that one nude dress in the confessional is really cool. She looks great. Like I do appreciate, like I said, her clothes fit her so well. No matter how gaudy or costumey you want to call something, Gretchen looks good. You got to give her that. Well, I guess you don't if you think she's tacky, but she's maintained beautifully. Let's put it that way, you know. So, um, like I said, I really loved Gina. So the outfit and when she stood, I mean, the whole thing, I just chef's kiss. That is a stunning outfit. The whole thing. I think Katie looked really nice as she always does. That's the one thing about Katie. And that's something that we kind of got to get to as we continue to get into this because this really was an opportunity for Katie to get into the mix and fight for her position back in. And I don't feel like that happened or is happening. Um, but she is impeccably beautiful regardless. Tamara's bleh. I like Tamara's hair because I hated Shannon's hair. You could like see the facelift scar. Like, come on. I like Tamara's hair with the bangs on the side. I thought that was cute. Emily's hair looked really good. Heather, this was kind of a miss period. I think the color was nice, but like all of it was too blah. She looked, let's put it this way. Heather always has a certain standard of like looking good, and I think that she maintained it, but the reunion is supposed to be a step above your everyday glamour, and I don't feel like we got that. Um, oh, Beverly Hills never. Yes, thank you, Shelby's. They don't, right? It's Beverly Hills, and y'all wearing some weird little shorts. Yeah, nope, nope, they don't. Um, yeah, I mean, I would rather see you make a big misstep, as sometimes they do with the bigger reunion looks. Because sometimes, there's always got to be maybe one on Atlanta where you're like, whoa, the custom designer, whoever was doing your dress, messed up. But I think actually even Potomac last season, they're looking better than some of these ladies for sure. Beverly Hills, you gotta step it up. You got Rachel Zoe this episode. You better.
Okay, help me understand. I remember Rachel Zoe vaguely. Was she doing something in fashion?
Yeah, Rachel Zoe was actually one of the original Bravos. Like, because the Rachel Zoe project was one of the first reality
Yeah.
shows along with Flipping Out. So we do have to give Rachel Zoe her OG status in the sense of she she's a very interesting character to me. I'm curious to see how this goes because
Mhm.
she's was a stylist, and I think like during the aughts she was very popular. She dressed Cameron Diaz, she dressed Nicole Richie, but there was a period she was caught up in a scandal because when Nicole Richie, remember when Nicole Richie had an eating disorder, it was very obvious she was having a problem with
Mhm.
Rachel Zoe was blamed for that because Rachel Zoe is pretty obviously a functional anorexic person. Excuse, like, I want to be careful with this because I feel like I need to. There's
Yeah.
some disordered eating. It's been rumored with her for years, and if you go and look at her carousel, the woman is scarily thin, and they even said on her own show when she was pregnant with her first kid, there were people that were concerned about her health and about eating enough because so anyway,
Well, I can't
so
wait to see her in Beverly Hills. So
yeah, because
good
she's
for
an
her.
OG style. Like there's something undeniable, and she loves fashion, and she is entrenched in the fashion industry. Like she
Mhm.
knows all the folks, like friends with Leon Talley kind of crap. Like you know, this lady is deep in the paint.
Well, good for her.
Yes, she was
So,
on the Kardashians
yeah, I
a
don't want to
time or
talk about
two.
them. I don't want to talk about them. I don't even want to bring
Oh,
them up.
oh,
Anyway, thanks, Shells, for all of your remembrances. Nevertheless, um, Jen and Shannon, this was interesting, y'all. I really wanted to dive into this. The You know how we discussed Tamara's ugly and mean attitude. Now it's lunchtime, by the way. I forgot to mention that it's lunchtime, and Jen and Shannon discuss Tamara's ugly and mean attitude, and that made that whole conversation go into something that I never thought it would go into. Now I'm gonna need your help because I had to watch Bravo's rendition of this reunion and also Peacock's rendition. Now, this was the one thing I thought was confusing out of part two, right? The part when they got to Ryan's friend going into custody. So first, Shannon comes over to Jen's trailer and is like, I can't believe how Tamara's acting. They're talking about her attitude.
with
And
a
then
bag of chicken.
right. She had her own bag of chicken from the house because she don't trust everybody's cooking. She's into what she's into. I don't mind. I don't get it because I love a good organic meal myself and really can't find that in too many places. So at the same time, they're showing Matt arriving, and we all know how that's gonna go. Matt's there for Katie, and he's her only supporter on this whole cast. And Katie is holding strong, but then she has a little tear, I guess. I didn't see anything wet come on her face, but she was in tears when he asked her how everything was going. And then they immediately went back to Jen and Shannon discussing. Now, this part was a little tricky. So Jen tells Shannon that somehow or another, while Ryan was taking Matt and Katie to Matt's, I guess, prison, wherever he had to go to turn himself in.
Not Matt. Not Matt. You're saying Matt and Katie. And it's his
Sorry,
friend. Yeah, it's Nick, I think is the guy's
Nick.
name.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So Matt's friend who was involved in all of that
Nope.
scandal and
Ryan's friend.
Lord Jesus. I know who
I
I'm
know.
talking about, but I'm saying the
Yeah,
wrong
I
word.
know you are. I know you are, but I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help you
Thank
because I'm
you.
like they're just not the right folks. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, moving forward.
Yep.
Ryan's friend who got caught in all that legal mumbo jumbo
Yes.
was turning himself in, and
Yes.
his wife Nicole.
There you go. There's the N word. Sorry, the N name. It's not even her. Oh God.
That's funny.
Oh my God. No. I'm
And
gonna
she's
get
not
canceled.
black, y'all, so don't worry
No,
about it.
I'm gonna get canceled.
Matt's friend's wife is not black, so don't even go there.
Oh my God, this is so bad. Nicole. Oh no.
That was funny. Okay, so Nicole is the wife / girlfriend, whoever she is, significant other to Ryan's friend who got caught up in all that mumbo jumbo we learned of for the last couple of years, right?
Yep.
And now the way Jen is telling it to Shannon, Ryan told her what transpired. So apparently, it sounds like while he was turning himself in, Katie was there, and she approached the wife Katie approached the wife regarding Ryan's involvement, how much involved was he really, and was disappointed in hearing that he was not involved, yet and still Matt is saying on camera, well, how dare them call you this, that, and the third when he's the one who cooperated with the feds. And we kind of knew that already, which is why Ryan was never charged or held accountable or whatever the case was. He was pretty much questioned and let go. So the confusing part is how and where did Katie approach the wife girlfriend of Ryan's friend to ask her all of this? Because it sounded like it was all running together, that Katie was there when he was turning himself in, or was it somewhere else? Please help.
Girl, listen, I don't even have that good of a oar to help you with this canoe, but okay, I think the top level thing to take from the interaction was Katie was trying to reach out to the wife to get her on the show.
Yeah.
Because she thought it would be a good idea. And I mean, I don't know about whatever.
No, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but the details that get a little weird is like, I don't know if Nicole told Ryan when they were dropping off the husband that, oh, by the way, Katie hit me up and told me that I should try to get on the show. Here's casting, whatever. Mm-hmm. Or if Katie called while they were actually taking him, but they took him a while back. So like Jen was acting like this was new information, and like she was like shocked, like, oh my God, like I can't believe this just came up. And then Shannon's like, are you gonna bring it up? She's like, hell yeah, I am. So like, I don't know exactly when the timing went down, but it feels a little suspect that Jen just happened to find out during the reunion about this. However, if Katie and then I even thought about it. I'm like, well, maybe at the time Katie thought that like it would be good for you to be on. I don't know why Katie would think it would be good. That's the question. Did you think that she would be an ally to Jen and Katie? Like you, Katie, is that why you approached her? Did you want to use her against Ryan? Like, why would you approach this woman? It's just another log on the fire that Katie's trying too hard to do anything. Mm-hmm. Now, they all recommend people to one another. Casting is asking. I mean, Tamara recommended Jen. That's how we got here in the first place. Mm-hmm. So I kind of I need to know more from the whole situation to see what kind of smoking gun it is, but production made it look really bad because they have Matt slagging Ryan now, saying the guy did a deal with the FBI, he's a criminal or whatever. So there's a contradiction there. You were all too happy to have his wife on the show before, and then now you're saying that about him. So the thing is, though, and this kind of goes into when Matt is on the stage, for a minute there, they were friends and they probably thought they were. So I think Katie and Matt feel betrayed. I'm not saying right here, wrong way.
Definitely.
I'm just establishing the lay of the land, right? I think Katie and Matt feel betrayed. And I think that the way that they behaved previously was under the guise of they were friends with Gretchen and Slade and they were really good friends with Jen and Ryan. They were really close. So they were operating under that kind of loyalty. But both of them being in the press, I think that all the shucking and jiving that they were trying to do to control things is now coming to bite them in the butt, and not even necessarily fairly so. But sometimes you just kind of got to look at the situation and go, this just didn't pan out, Katie. This just didn't pan out. The cards were stacked against you because every single situation has like another layer to it. I didn't call that woman. I don't have reception. I can't prove it. Oh, when I got home, I called her on Instagram. That's, I didn't tell Kiki Monique that. I don't believe that. You know what I mean? So it's like we just have all these little tiny cuts where it's just not working. And not only that, but like, I just don't feel like Katie is combative in the right way for this show. Because it's just not like landing. But I
That's
also
what you
wonder.
said last week. Like, girl, get in there. Say what you need to say. And it's not coming across as if you're defending yourself, more or less just answering the girl, come with it. And girl.
And I don't know what it is.
Shit, I'm disappointed.
I am too, because this was the opportunity for Katie to have a redemption arc. But and she's not getting it. And I don't know if part of that is production, because they shoot for like 5 hours and all of this, or 8 hours, 9, 10, whatever. They shoot for a long time, not 5. They shoot for a very long time. But like, it's just not, Katie's not able to get in there with both elbows and hold her own. And that's really what you need to do as a housewife, regardless. Even if you're lower key and of an energy, you need to be able to do that. So apparently, I don't know. I need to know more. All I know is it sounds like they just recently found out Katie approached Nicole about being on the show. So it makes somehow them look disingenuous. I'm not really sure exactly how yet. Jen, you better pull this out of your butt on the show.
Girl, listen, any tea is relevant in regards to people's ways about themselves. Just like how they pulled that last stunt we're going to see on part 3 about Tamra colluding with another content creator / commentator, whoever the person or people are, and also telling what's happening on the series by some unknown anonymous person that they happened to talk to after getting secret anonymous DMs and all this, all this, that, and the third, all roads leading to Tamra. So it's strange enough within itself, but I need, and just like how Katie says she has receipts on this, that, and the third, she should have had all her receipts right then and there. It's okay to bring something, to bring paperwork, hell, a binder, whatever you need to do.
I was going to say, bust out that binder.
Okay? Because it would have helped. Well, this is what you said and such, because you need every piece of backup, because they're not going to believe what you're saying.
It's not landing right now, unfortunately. And I don't believe Katie is the villain that they're like, I think part of this is, it's like, I don't think she's being given the opportunity to succeed by production either. I just don't think they want this to keep working out. I just don't. And she's not, because she's kind of a dud. So like the two go arm in arm.
Yeah, she needed better receipts because no one is believing them. And with all the texting, with all the call logs, you said that should have been printed out. All of these things should have been presented in a form other than your mouth and vocal cords because they don't believe you.
We've gotten to the point now where we need accuracy. You can't say like, what is it? Crap. The word is like,
Testimony?
no, it's where you're like amplifying something while
Putting
you're
20 on 10?
what?
Putting 20 on 10?
Yes. Well, you can't put 20 on 10 in any kind of way. You can't say Slade called 20 times. You have to know exactly how many times he called. Because when they say he called you twice, then here's the record or whatever, like, because here's the bottom line about the situation. I genuinely believe that Gretchen and Slade put too much sauce on that story at Mastro's. I do.
Me too.
We don't have to split hairs on roofied or drugged, saw the report, went to the hospital. I think it was went to the hospital and they found drugs in her system or something like that. I think went to the hospital was clearly stated, right?
Right.
Now, exactly what they meant for it to happen with that rumor, I'm not really sure. I don't really necessarily believe Gretchen and Slade were intentionally trying to get that storyline onto the show. But I do believe that part. I do believe that Jen caught wind of how much manipulation Katie was trying to do to control the narrative and how badly it was playing out with the other women. And I think she abandoned her friend. She dropped her faster than a hot stone. She said, bye, ho. And that really hurt Katie because I think Katie did try to do some things in an alliance with Jen and Gretchen. But every story that Katie's told, she's had to walk back a detail. And that is just continued to chip away at her credibility with the audience. I didn't tell Kiki, like we just get different layers. I met with Kiki Monique and I told her some things. I called Gina racist, but like she didn't call her racist. She just said she was inappropriate with an Asian designer comment. But she gossiped with Kiki Monique, but she didn't tell her that. And Kiki's a liar. I never called that blogger. Oh wait, yes I did. That blogger, the nanny, approached me about the situation. Oh, I let her know what person I talked to. It's like, it's just one little hit after the other. Oh yeah, I recorded Shannon. And if Alexis heard it, you didn't just play it for your husband. You played it for Alexis. So, I don't know if I believe Alexis, but it does seem likely.
What does Alexis have to gain by supporting Shannon? Because it's all about that whole thing was in support of Shannon, and also Alexis and Katie never had an issue. So, even though I'm not a fan of Alexis, I don't see her going around lying on people all around town just to get back on the show. I mean, she'll probably lie for her man, but I just don't see her doing that.
I agree. The person that's proven that they're already in question about their honesty is Katie, not Alexis. So, I don't like Alexis either, but like, I honestly could see like, well, how did people know about the recording in the first place? Because, Tamra knew about it because other people, because Jen told you, what I mean? Like, we've got there's just too many hits now. We got too many hits.
Yeah, girl.
And I just thought Katie would come back. Here's the part, though. Are we rolling into when Matt joins, or are we done with the whole?
Yeah, we're there.
Okay. Matt showed up to have a discussion about the situation, and Ryan and Slade sabotaged him because they didn't. And they chose to do that to leave Matt on an island to fight with women. And I don't agree with that.
Me either.
Slade, you're a punk ass bitch. Get
Me?
on that stage and tango with Matt. You absolutely not. You want to go talk to Tamara and Eddie. Slade, if you're watching, listening, Slade, you punked out like the bee that you are, because you needed to go and fight with Matt on that couch. I needed to see it. I need to see it. I need you. I needed to see. Yes, defend yourself. Absolutely.
Both of them. But remember earlier at this season, I said Ryan took the playbook of Eddie, like, I ain't getting in this into nothing, and how Slade kind of took Ryan's playbook. I'm not going to be arguing with these women. I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm going to leave that up to my significant other to do. But at the same time, they could have made their presence known. Hell, at least Greg came to the reunion on Potomac for Kierna, and he didn't even want to film or have her be a part of the show. So the whole fact of them not showing up was some punk.
It was
pussy stuff. And all they had to do was say, well, we're here just to talk to Matt. We're not going to address any women. And it could have been Katie and Matt on one couch, and Ryan, Jen, Slade, and Gretchen on the other, and go back and forth, or maybe Tamara too, but at the same time, it just would have been them, because they had to sort out their mess. And I'm pretty sure Katie and Katie and Matt should have had their receipts printed so they can have a better stance in their defense, because again, no one is believing anything coming out of your mouth that they don't want to believe. You have to show them. That's why court wants people to bring receipts. Although testimony can convict, the fact that you have proven to be a liar in admittance, you need to bring other forms of your truth or the truth. Just saying.
Slade, your fingerprints are all over this season, whether you like it or not, and we all know it. And they called you on the phone, you talked about Tamara and the recording. Like, no, you can't punk out now. And you did. You did it as a strategic move. And Gretchen saying you could talk to Slade some other time. Like, I actually was very irritated with Gretchen's attitude about it, to be honest. I just was. And Jen too, for that matter. And not only that, but they put Matt in an awkward position, because Matt was there to talk about the fact that Slade reached out to him and told him to hold the line for Gretchen, which I believe he did that.
Me too.
I believe that once this, and I'm sorry, it is so damning, Gretchen. I'm sorry, but you misspoke in the car. There's no defending that. You literally confirmed that you lied. I'm sorry. The way that you said, but I did go to the hospital. That's not misspeaking. That's not saying, but I did have crab cakes. No. That was you messing up. Because here's the problem. When Gretchen gets caught and it's true, she has a weird reaction, just like she did with the text messages. Okay, so, and I'm not totally condemning her. I want to be clear, because I do know she's your girl. But in this case, Matt was there to talk about how Slade said to him, you need to hold the line and support Gretchen, because this story is spiraling out of control and we don't want that. You need to keep it cool. Like, this is going to go the wrong way if you don't support Gretchen. And for them, when Matt tried to talk about it, to immediately say, well, you called Eddie gay. What is the horseshit deflection and not addressing the situation? You don't look, this was terrible. This was a very unsatisfactory interaction for me.
I was disappointed how Gretchen gloated in the fact that she had a smoking gun. Trying to out Matt for being, I guess, homophobic, or just spreading false narratives about Eddie. When Tamara said all three of them was talking shit, so all three of them was in the same boat. That's the one thing I agree with Tamara on,
right?
And like Andy shook his head, like, I just can't believe that they're
saying. Thank you.
So disrespectful for Gretchen to just be in such a thrill about stating it over and over and over.
Yes,
in my opinion, proves that her and Slade had a, what's that word, nefarious way about trying to prove themselves
Yeah.
not being credible, when it all started because Gretchen said the wrong thing and didn't
Yeah.
apply the pressure that they intended on in the first place. And
Agree
I
100.
said that from the beginning. This ain't nothing that I'm just going back on. Yes,
Yeah.
she's my girl. I will, right is right and wrong is wrong. Just
Yep.
like when Heather said that thing about Jen spending $2,000 on a dress when she got bills. Everybody has their moment, right? Everybody
Yeah.
has their moment. But with this right here, I just don't think Gretchen and Slade thought about this hard or long enough
No.
to circumvent anything that could go wrong.
It just doesn't look good. It doesn't speak to your character. Because if the way you're playing it looks sleazy. Slade
Yeah.
sleazy. It does. And it looks manipulative. And it looks like you're trying to hide the fact that you ran your mouth. And I just believe you did. And I think Matt came to have an honest conversation because I think some parts of this are true. I think Slade tried to manipulate Katie and Matt to not continue to spill the beans. But also, I think Katie went and spilled the beans to Kiki and it got out. So, like, I do think two things can be true. But again, we're kind of circling the drain, but it should be repeated. Jen and Gretchen jumping on Matt, saying they called Eddie gay. And what'd you say about Eddie during that conversation? I'm sure you had plenty to say. What did Ryan say? What did you all ripped Eddie down? You and Jen, you need to keep your mouth shut because you and Ryan had so much to say about Tamara and Eddie at Mastro's. I'm sure of it. You were hot off trying to threaten to sue Tamara for running her mouth, and Ryan went and said a whole bunch of nasty shit about Tamara on a podcast. So nobody's hands are clean. And so that's where I don't like how these women try to put Matt and Katie on an island where, like you said, Tamara being right about they were all talking smack. And him saying he thought Eddie was gay doesn't mean that Slade didn't try to make him toe the line. What are you doing? That has nothing to do with the issue at hand. That is such a sad, like, attempt at a distraction,
Right.
a sad attempt at a deflection. And guess
Right.
what? Considering you're in your own homophobic drama, I wouldn't even bring that up.
Girl, that's going to be how they're going to, well, let's just go into the homophobia of it all.
Right.
Gretchen, I'm pretty sure part 3 is going to be something similar to that. Were you done? Or do you have
Yes,
some more?
ma'am. Yeah, please go ahead.
I have something to tie all this in. I believe all 3 couples, meaning Katie and Matt, Jen and Ryan, Gretchen and Slade, all had ulterior. Can't say it
ulterior.
Right. Had all ulterior motives. They all had ulterior motives. Katie more so than Matt. Matt is supporting his wife because they knew she's a liar, so he's going to support her conniving ways, as other commentators have said since all of the blow up and her being outed as being thirsty. She had her thirst ulterior motives, and that kind of didn't go her way because more credible folks that she talked to outed her, and that she was just trying to get on and get put on, but she went about it the wrong way, right? Then we have Jen and Ryan. The whole basis for her and Gretchen's relationship was her reaching out to Tamara's utmost op for trying to go against Tamara in some type of way, whether she was on the show or not. The fact that it getting back to Tamara, that Jen is friends with Gretchen, would have gotten to Tamara in the worst way, more so than anything else, because of their history. And lo and behold, she's on the show, it's going to even make Tamara even more upset. Also, how she's going after her man, Ryan, and everything, and all the things. So that's another issue. Another ulterior motive that went wrong and went bad. And then we have great, girl, great, girl, great.
It's Sletchen or grade.
So we have great and Sletchen, right? I like that. Great and Sletchen. They're and all this is my opinion. This is what I think based off of what has transpired, what has been said in and out of the housewives' house. Of course, their plan blew up. They thought bringing, talking greasy about Tamara in any way wouldn't come back to them to where they could not control the narrative anymore. And how Gretchen slipped up and said something that she can't take back just added more flame to that fire. And because none of them could contain the fire, it blew up because it had ill intentions in the first fucking place. Everybody, look, in the words of Phaedra Parks, everybody knows when you start off with malicious intent, it's gonna come back to bite. It's just going to, and it is what it is. And it sounds like the exclusive you mentioned earlier, how Vicky got her peach for season 20, which means somebody else got to go. I don't see how they can add her in, and she ain't gonna be a friend. Hello, she got a peach. I mean, an orange. Sorry, everybody says peach, right? She got her orange back, so that means somebody's orange was taken away, and they don't even get a tangerine. They don't get a cutie. They don't get nothing. They are out. And that's that on that, and serves them right, because again, I think it's Katie, and if you're gonna bring the pain, you have to come with more receipts than just your verbal account. You have to bring tangible evidence, and it's so easy to print out a phone log. Everything you said could have been proven if you would have just printed it out, and hell, bring a what do you call them things? A tablet, and just make a slideshow. Do something. But the point is, you failed at defending yourself, and you have no one else to blame but yourself. See, this season, this reunion was your redemption story, and it failed flat.
Well, I mean, I agree with so much of what you said, especially about all 6 of them having ulterior motives. And what I think what we're doing is seeing just how much of like a sandcastle a lot of these relationships are built upon, you know, because as soon as this was out of control, beyond Slade's control, Gretchen and Jen, they immediately, you know, got together and threw Katie under the bus because she was the easiest one to throw because of what she herself had done to get herself there. So, you know, it was literally like, what limb do we cut off to save ourselves, you know? And Katie and Matt got the cut because there was already so much to begin with. And so what I don't like is that it feels like Gretchen and Jen are literally trying to get out of any kind of accountability for this mess, when that's not fair, because y'all were greasy too. And you did say that, Gretchen. You did. I believe it. I don't care what you say. You're not very good in confrontational situations about convincing me about certain things. You're just not. You come off like a liar sometimes. But that's okay, because, you know, that's okay. It's not okay, but you know what I mean. Like, Katie's a liar too, though. Like, I didn't call that woman. Yes, you did. I called her on Instagram. That's calling someone. Just like whatever, you know, we don't have landlines anymore, but you're still calling someone on your cell phone just because you did it on Instagram. I didn't remember. Yes, you did. I don't think production. Well, I think the reason that, and like you said, it's pretty much their own damn fault, except that I don't think production is trying to help Katie at all in this reunion, because they want to bring Vicky back to bring Shannon and Tamara back together, or try with that kind of storyline. And I think that they want to show Jen as boring and as no place to go as she is. because I don't think, other than Tamra, who's kind of on an island right now, there's nobody for Katie to bond with to come back. Like, who likes her? Shannon doesn't want to be friends with her because even though she saw the audience backlash about Katie being bullied, so now she's being softer, right? But that don't mean Shannon like Katie. Shannon just doesn't want to be attacked by the audience for being mean to Katie because of the pylon, right? So Shannon's like backpedaled. Emily hates Katie because of the kid stuff, and that is what that is. I never agreed with Katie's daughter saying what she did about Emily's kids. I thought that was wrong. So I kind of get why Emily's like, get rid of her. I'm not saying that Emily didn't get her back real good though, because she did. And then Gina, she went after Gina and insinuated Gina was racist. So, once you do that, that's not exactly somebody that's going to trust you and want to be friends, rightly or wrongly. I'm not saying that, hey, listen, fellow white ladies coming from this white lady, we all make jokes and this or that or whatever, but like some stuff you just need to leave alone. Like Jen and Gretchen and the Asia, and that was another thing. I don't think either one of them, they both should just apologize. Side note, like Jen shouldn't have been like, she knows I wouldn't, just say you're sorry. Like in a case like this, and don't do any of that crap at all. Stay away from that stuff. Like, just don't even stay away from it.
Even again, we have to change up how we think, therefore our actions will follow.
Yep.
As long as we know it's not proper to do, it's not funny, it's not appreciative, and though things were done in the past and previously, times have changed. We are recognizing that certain demographics of people do not appreciate being made fun of in any type of way. So let's just put that on everybody so that no one is offended anymore about joking about them in any way regarding their culture.
And think about it like this. You're just leaving yourself open for like an attack you're never going to win. Because you just it could be manipulated. Like, I get that Gina was trying to point out that Katie wasn't coming through with her word. But look how it got turned around. And really, there's no way to kind of get around it. Just say you're sorry. So, just think about these things because it's needlessly stupid. And then just apologize when it's brought up that you were insensitive,
Right, because and I'm glad you brought that up because with Gina, she was upset when she said it, so it came out offensive. Now here we have Gretchen and Jen having a funny moment, and it's still coming across offensive. So that's the point, y'all. Don't think it's okay to say or do in any no matter how you feel in the moment. Because just by those two examples, it's proven that the outcome is unsavory and not appreciated. So just don't do it.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. I agree, 100. But I don't
especially out in the open. Hell, I mean, just
yeah.
saying.
But no, I agree with you. I'm sorry, Katie. This whole reunion was your opportunity to have a shot at this because the audience was on your side about how you'd been iced out. And I think with a little extra magic from production, because I don't think Katie might have had some better points, but they're just not showing them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I do think that, but I also, what we're seeing of Katie, we're like not impressed. So, but shame on you, Gretchen and Jen, specifically Gretchen. You did not give me the kind of conversation I would have liked to have had about this situation. You deflected in a way that's just gross. Because you talked mess about Eddie too. And I don't think Matt just volunteered that he thought Eddie was gay, that he seemed like it from the jump. I think you all were talking about Eddie. Like Tamara said, you were all talking greasy. And so for you to do that to him is an embarrassment to your intelligence, or it shows, because it means you can't stand behind the fact that you didn't say what you said. So Yeah, I felt bad because that must have really sucked to know that that situation happened, but the way that everything is being worked out, you're being discredited, and you're not even going to get to have any of the truth told as far as Katie and Matt goes in that regard. But it's like, well, welcome to reality television.
And the fact that they confirmed that they said it.
Yeah.
Well, you were talking too. When you say two, in addition to what we were saying, proving yes, we were there. It's getting old. It's really old. It's old. It's older than, to me, that's old in comparison to even the naked ways. It's just old, child.
Listen, and let me say something. Ryan, don't be saying Eddie seems gay. If somebody saw a picture of you, they would think you were going to a circuit party. Get out of here with your clothes, your splatter paint jeans and all that crap. Get out of here. So all of
I gave you some music to it.
because I'm doing a little shuffle dance, like, hey, y'all, just saying, glass houses, everybody. Leave Eddie and his sexuality alone. If they have a lavender marriage, they've had one for nearly 20 years. Leave them alone. Like, like, whatever. I don't give a crap. Like, you could insult the two of them for a lot more, like, accurate reasons. So,
And I brought that up. Like, how can she stop all the foolishness and don't bring none of that to the house when when that's her, that's a character flaw. It's something that she does. And again, and we never really see them filming him. He never comes to the reunions. And you know what, just thinking about it, I don't think any husband or significant other should come to the reunion. I'm tired of seeing them, usually the men. I just want to bring the housewives and that's it. Unless, again, it's what is that, germane to the story. Other than that, no, just leave them out of it. But the fact that Eddie was there last season, girl, when they got that tea on TJ and Stacey, that was perfection, because he needed to, to attest to that whole part of her paying him, which
you
we all
switched
knew.
Eddie's. At first, I was like, Eddie was there, and they're like, oh, happy Eddie.
But
That's all.
Potomac, y'all, Potomac.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, just leave them where they at. They ain't even got to come support. Call them on the phone. But other than that, I don't feel the need for them to be there, especially when it comes to certain franchises. Don't even invite them anymore. We don't want to see them. But Married to Medicine, yes, because that's,
a couple show.
Yeah, it's a couple show, so we need to see them there. And furthermore, when is Married to Medicine gonna have their another area? I keep telling these people, I don't have more stories and writing I got to do to Bravo and these people. But I did like the Houston show. I thought it was good. It didn't get a lot of airplay, but I thought it was a good franchise. But
I was about to say, I feel bad. I don't even remember. You know what I miss? Southern Charm, New Orleans.
I never saw that franchise.
It was good. It was good. I miss it.
I heard, because
It was.
talks about it often.
Yeah, it was a solid one, and I'm bummed because they just let that all die. That was, shout out to them. I don't mind when the husbands come for their little segment when they're all sitting behind their wives, like in their little tuxedos. Well, and that's what it should be, a little segment. Like, they needed to have all the significant others there, or not just Matt. That was wrong. And for Eddie and Slade, and for Slade and Ryan to dip out and leave Matt on the couch, that was weak sauce. That was weakly produced. They should have said to Slade, you need to come, although he could have said no because I don't get paid. But, like, they could have made him look a hell of a lot worse for not showing. Andy could have, and they could have punished Gretchen and Jen for the men's choices by highlighting that. But they, I think, want Katie. Is Katie even at BravoCon? I don't think she was invited. So I don't think they want her to come back. I think they want her to just go away, and they're going to bring Vicky in. And I think they just want this to end because it was a storyline that has really nowhere to go next season with any of the women other than Tamra for just very obvious reasons. But if Tamra is the only one that's friends with Katie, that means Katie has nowhere else to navigate in the friend group, you know? So again, they needed to have all of them though. I don't want some. To your point, I don't want this. I don't want this. Like y'all should have had like your couple of questions. Ask Shane how he felt about Luke, and the situation and how things are doing. Ask hell, Travis, it's your turn to be on how it feels to be living together again or whatever. But don't do this.
You just use them and spit them out.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't mind the little like, how's the season for you? Person that is on camera that we don't pay. Let them have a little moment to say something. But this didn't work for me. Should we close out with the Gretchen's weak attempt to defend her homophobia?
Did they say anything yet? I didn't see that.
Oh, that's next time. I'm jumping the gun. I watched the sneak peek. I watched the sneak peek. Oh, girl.
Oh, girl. So
it's not good. It's not good. Go watch it. We'll save it for next time. I don't want to. Gretchen is not good at defending herself.
Oh, Lord.
It's weak. It's so weak. I need a strong arm here, girl.
Okay, so is it the stuff that she blaming Tamra for or something else?
She said she goes back to, I want to denounce any of that. I don't feel that way. I want to be clear about that. But I follow 4,500 people. I may have, seen something else that they posted because Tamra held her feet to the fire. You follow those people. You follow them though. And what they're saying is so hate speech, and you follow them though. So you supported them enough to follow them. And she was like, well, maybe I saw something spiritual they posted and I decided to follow them. 4,500 people is not that many, first of all. And Andy kind of gave her the out, like, you probably don't see like a lot of the people in your feed that you do follow. And then she also said that she may have carelessly liked some things or whatever, but it made her go and clean up her account. And so the thing is, I do agree that trying to hold us accountable for all of our social, I probably follow a couple accounts that if I actually paid attention, I would probably unfollow, right? Like a few maybe, just because I remember I really used to this one comedy account like Betches, and then they were affiliated with another funny meme account. And then that meme account all of a sudden started putting really conservative crap up and I unfollowed them. So sometimes, you kind of end up accidentally falling into, you know what I mean? You don't even know. I just thought it was a comedy account, but then there was kind of some political stuff creeping in. But so I get that, I don't think that, but what I do think is that the fact that Gretchen was willingly following these people already shows you where a lot of her mindset is at, unfortunately. So she's not really straight up saying that she never did it, although she is saying to a certain extent that some of the stuff is attributed to Tamra, but she's also still using the argument that some of it is just carelessness.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, which is hard for me because that means that you're in the environment of a lot of this stuff. If you're following all these people, that means that, your support, it's not like these people are saying all these other great things and then horrible things about the gay community. It means you're following people that are shitty, in general.
Okay. So that video, the sneak peek, is Heather and Emily on the front? Or because I don't see too many sneak peeks
Let me see. I'll
on
send.
Bravo's channel regarding their reunion that I see Katie and Jim, but that's only a minute. I don't think that they're going to talk
No.
about.
Let's see.
I don't see anything else that's coming up when
No, that's a bonus, a sneak peek.
You think they took it down?
No. No, where did I'll find it because I watched it,
Okay.
obviously. I'll find it and get it to you.
Please.
It might be in the Heather Dubrow thing. It might be in there because it is 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
So but yeah. Anyway, I'll get it to you.
Okay.
It's kind of the same way as she reacted when she was confronted with it in Amsterdam. It's a weirdly weak argument.
Okay.
So I don't know, but like we've talked about this before. This is an area that's a little difficult because Gretchen is a very Christian person. She's also very conservative. And if we started really looking into how these ladies all felt about some things, I think we might dislike more than one of them. I don't know where the line is. I guess we just deal with it as we're presented with it, It's a tough one. But Gretchen doesn't do the best job, in my opinion, of getting out of it.
Right. And I want to say this, and I don't want it misconstrued as if I'm defending hate speech. Because her reaction is not so blown up the way Heather scowled at her for, I don't want that to be misconstrued as anything other than her reaction, because I think your and my reaction to a similar situation may be different, but it doesn't mean that I'm for hate speech. You know what I'm saying? So just because Gretchen's reaction wasn't so mortified or horrified in the way Heather's was, and it doesn't mean that because Heather has closer ties to the queer community that's why she's acting like that. Anybody who feels a way feels a certain way would have that reaction. I think it's more or less how Gretchen is computing things in her mind when she's confronted with something that she's being caught doing that doesn't allow her to be more in the moment with her feelings. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Okay.
And I do think here's the problem I have with Gretchen. Gretchen is a very conservative Christian woman. She's also in the past been MAGA, and probably still is. Like I said, we have to be very careful how we start judging these women, because if we knew about all of their political or maybe moral beliefs, we might not even be able to watch. I don't know. However, the thing that I struggle with is that Gretchen, I do genuinely believe, because of those conservative Christian values, has been involved in some things that are in conflict with what she's saying about, how she feels about the gay community. But there's a lot of hypocrites in the Christian community in this area. Because, I don't know what to do with it. But I think part of the reason why Gretchen is struggling is that, the reality is you may love everybody, but like if somebody asked you straight up, do you believe it's a sin because the Bible says so? I think she might say yes, So there you go. I don't know what to do with it. That's why, like I said before, because like we know we don't care about, we know Ramomo took it too far. I don't want to see, we know Ramon is a racist. You know what I mean? So like sometimes they just go too far. There's a lady, on that was on Real Housewives of Dallas that she misspoke, but like
Leanne.
Yeah, Leanne.
She cut the fool about that Mexican lady.
She did.
The other housewife. Oh my God.
Well,
she cut the fool.
and Carrie Duber's husband getting his D sucked at the roundup. She just was, yeah, there's just some people that like, yeah. So anyway, I just think that this is a weird case of Gretchen's values have a conflict with this, and I don't think she has a great answer, but I don't think she's homophobic. But I do think she follows accounts that are full of hate speech. So, I don't know. She's an example of I don't think, I don't know.
I wanted to bring up something. Another disappointment I have with Katie is that, as she mentioned, she's the first Asian-esque housewife on this franchise. You fumbled the bag. We have, not that you have to make up for that fool that came out of SLC with her racist antics, but we would have appreciated you even more with you representing in that way to the utmost. Even with the foolishness, had you come correct in redeeming yourself, you have every right to promote your culture as everybody does. We love it. We love to see it. But we would have appreciated you a whole lot more, because in a way you could have been, I guess, how can I say this? Redeeming the value that fool out of SLC tried to do the opposite with, because everybody remembers her when we're prompted to, but no one thinks about her, that fool that came out of SLC. So
Yeah.
yes, had you represented yourself and defended yourself like you were supposed to, it would have added even more glory to you remaining as a housewife. But you fumbled, girl. You fumbled.
Well, in her defense, I do think, she was adopted and very devoid of her culture. And I think her rediscovering it would have been a very interesting storyline. I mean, she talked about wanting to go find her mom, and then there was, Matt's dad died, so they put it off. So it was like, a lot of that they didn't want, all of this mess overshadowed you reconnecting with your culture in any way, and that's unfortunate. But but I feel bad for her, because I think that there's a lot there emotionally for how disconnected she has been, but all of these shenanigans completely overshadowed that journey, and I don't get the feeling that it's gonna happen next season.
With my whistle. It's a big disappointment, because you had so much to offer, on top of the mess. We had a good balance. Unfortunately, the powers that be didn't see it for you for whatever the reason. And next season we're gonna have what we're gonna have, Chad, I guess. Ooh, and I gotta look at Vicky's face again every week. Well, I was looking over my notes, and I think I delivered all of my talking points.
Same.
Y'all, thanks for the views. We appreciate all of your feedback. Big ups to those who came and talked with us in the chat. Big ups to Shelbs. I hope I'm saying it right. Shelby,
right.
However you say it. See you, girl. See you in the other chat spaces that we're in sometimes. And we're going to come back next week for episode 3, the finale of all finales. And also hopefully get some more BravoCon tea.
Yes.
Happening. Of course, we're seeing everybody who's there now commenting and promoting their channels. So big ups to those who are out there in Las Vegas. I'm not sure if it's raining out there, but it sure is raining in California. Hello.
Yep.
Tony, I'm gonna have to play that song. We always play that song when it rains. Doesn't rain always play that? It never rains in Southern California. Time it rains, I swear. I hear it every time it rains. Oh my goodness. But y'all, thanks again for tuning in. We appreciate you. Before we go, let's find out where we can find Erin when she ain't talking ish with me.
You can catch me on Facebook, Psychic Erin Boyd, or on Instagram and Thread, Psychic_ELB. Hit me up in the DMs and get a reading.
And before we go, just know that Southern Charm is coming through. So we're going to be delivering that to you. We've also put up Selling Sunset. We started giving you the tea on them for their season 9. Check out the library. Drag Race is coming through. Also, my own stuff, just me, myself, and I. Just check out the library, y'all. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that bell is black so you'll get all of the notifications. Make sure your notifications are on. And that's it, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye. Ray, Ray.